This is Remember Me. So today, we're here.
Should we do our intro? Wait, hold on. How does it go?
My name is Maria Kemp.
My name is Maria Kemp.
My name is Rachel. You always start the episode. So today we're here
with
each other.
We're super privileged. What do I say?
You are so good off the cuff every time. That's why you always.
I thought we were going to do the intro of like.
No.
My name is Maria Kemp. I'm Rachel Martinez, and we're the hosts of Remember Me podcast.
God, you know I don't.
It's really weird in person to do that, but we're here.
Start us off today.
Today we are here recording together in a studio, and we are kicking off season 11. We're gonna throw it all the way back.
Ooh,
5 years.
Ooh.
And we're gonna talk about the last 5 years of how we started. Really, okay. That's where we're gonna.
This is whenever we're asked this question, my eyeballs go right to Maria.
She asked me, Maria, do our elevator pitch.
Yep.
And it changes a little bit every time, and I don't know why we don't get more credit for this story. Is this the real talk starting already? But we were strangers who met on the internet.
Maybe because it's more common to meet on the internet now.
And have a podcast with someone for 5 years?
Date.
Okay,
but become romantically involved.
Okay,
sorry.
Okay, so you're going to make me do it.
Yeah, so 5 years ago.
5 years ago, once upon a time, it was, I don't know, March, April, May 2020.
It was before that.
I think I have the little... Remember I put on Instagram?
It's so embarrassing when you do that.
Okay, so...
I'm so ready.
Ugh. So...
Cringy.
What you wrote back? Lots of exclamation points.
Okay.
I'm going to throw it back even further. So, in my 20s, taking care of my mom who was living with FTD and ALS, my sweet mom Leah, and feeling like... where am I? Who am I? What is this world that I'm living in right now? And I had some sweet and loving friends. Some friends that ended up being... Because this is the real talk, right?
Yeah. And just quickly, Maria still won't let us say bad words. So
sorry.
I want to, but Maria says no. Because I'm a real talk girl that wants to
you're going to hold it in. Because I don't want to check the explicit box. So, I'm trying to basically get through the day, going to work.
Where are you living? What's
I'm
your situation?
Living in Boston, and actually I was living with my parents at this time that I'm thinking of, because I had moved in with my husband to try and help take care of my mom.
So she's already got the diagnosis.
She's got the diagnosis. Okay. Maybe we're a year into it, and I mean we're several years into something's happening. But when first we get the FTD, and we'll get into this more, but first we get the FTD diagnosis, then we get the double whammy of ALS. And I knew, you've heard me say this a million times, I knew what ALS was because in the Boston area, Pete Frates, he's like this BC legend baseball player that really brought awareness to the disease, a few years prior to my mom being diagnosed.
The Ice Bucket Challenge.
The Ice Bucket Challenge, okay. Exactly. I did the Ice Bucket Challenge a year before my mom was diagnosed.
Really? Mm-hmm. I never did it.
I have a video.
I don't like being cold.
I have a video of Mike and I doing it. Isn't that crazy? And then the next year.
You should post it. You've never shared it with anybody.
Yeah, I can do that. It's
you probably
weird
look like
to
such
watch.
A little baby.
Because I'm doing this thing for this cause that I had no idea was going to touch my family. But I one of the things I knew about ALS was that it was quick, or it can be quick.
And devastating.
And horrible. And so I moved in with my parents.
You and Mike.
Me and my husband.
Okay.
Mike. Love Mike. And he knew from the second we got the diagnosis, he's like, you're going to want to live with your mom. And I said, yep. And he's like, all right, start packing. So we moved in. This was before we had kids, and we're caring for her. And I just felt so alone. I was working a job that I hated because...
We all do.
And it was a particularly toxic work environment. And I'm going in and dealing with that. And then no one has any idea what's going on in my life on the other side of it. And, you know, I for some reason, I really remember my drives to and from work. I think because it was like an uninterrupted 40 minutes, like alone with my thoughts. Uh-oh. And not in the house with my mom and dad and not with Mike. And like, and sometimes I would call friends, and I just felt like people were well-meaning, and I think some in particular really wanted to be there for me, but I just felt like no one understood like what I was dealing with and what my family was going through. And I just felt so alone. And I cried so many of those car rides. And then I'd like have to try and pull it together to get in the house and be like,
shocker.
What? No, I'm the crier. And I would just like, I just walk in and be like, what is waiting for me, you know, in this house? And just constant state of anxiety. And, fast forward a little bit, I had my Liam, and while I was living with my parents, and after about 6 months, some people know the story, I got to a point where I was like, this is not sustainable. I can't caregive for my mom, caregive for this newborn baby who was very colicky, by the way.
Oy.
And we moved into an apartment in Boston and got a little separation, still caregiver, but I'm in my apartment in Boston, and then like the world shuts down. And I had started following you. I don't remember when. We could probably look it up and see, but I was like looking on Instagram, like, is anybody talking about FTD? Because I needed something, you know?
Yeah.
And I guess it was hashtags.
Probably.
It was like end FTD or frontotemporal. I don't know. I was just like looking, and I found a couple accounts. I found the Sister Project, and I found you. And I just remember like the pictures you would post of visiting your dad.
I wonder how I accepted you. I wonder why I accepted you.
I was posting some stuff about FTD, so maybe you were like, oh, it's another FTD
Probably.
Something.
I don't just let anybody in.
I thought you were public.
No, I am very private.
Oh. By chance, you were like, all right, let her in.
What's this girl? All right.
It's just going to change my life.
She looks harmless. Okay, so I accepted you, and then what happened?
Okay, you accepted me, and then it was...
Did we accept the good? Oh, God, I'm so good. It's hard to be this funny.
I don't think I told you this part, but no, it's something bad.
Okay, I thought it was going to be...
But there was, I got real... This I like the real talk, because I'm going to tell some story we haven't told before. But there was someone, and I'm going to say well-meaning, that like wrote an email to our church parish about my mom's diagnosis. But they didn't mention FTD, and they said she has severe ALS, which, by the way, ALS is severe no matter.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Maybe like progressed ALS is what the person meant. It's not
I don't know, but like I saw like it was almost like a moment of like someone's telling our story and they're not getting it right, and it's frustrating to me. And you know, at that time, and years after my mom's passing, my grandma Yaya was still alive, and I was like, oh my God, everybody in the Greek community is now going to know because this person sent this email and it's not even right. And I just had this thing of like, no, it's time for us to tell what is going on truly, and I'm going to do it. I don't know how. And I actually have recordings on my phone. I saw them recently of me trying to map out my story, like step by step, and explaining it to people. I'll show it to you. I look so young and just like innocent. And
wait, you're
Liam's
like filming yourself?
Yeah, and Liam's like in the background. My hair, I straightened my hair for it, and I was like, I'm gonna do this. And then I was like, you know what? I remember talking to Mike, being like, I don't know if I do podcasts or whatever. I had studied radio and TV in college, and I was like, I got to do something because the world shut down. What else am I going to do? And this 2-year-old driving me wild.
You're not going to bake bread. What else?
I had quit the job. Spoiler. I'd quit the job that sucked. And so I was like...
What else was really popular during COVID? Baking bread and what?
Oh, I was doing art Zooms. I had started this little art business.
Oh, right. Okay, yes. Art. Zooms.
You know.
Yeah, that's when it became really like, want to hop on a Zoom?
Do you remember in the beginning, like, we used my, like, art studio thing as, like, where people could apply to be on the podcast?
Yes, of course I remember. Oh, that's how it worked.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting nostalgic. You know how
Art
I
Junk
get.
Studios?
Yeah. With the big A. Okay.
Yes.
Yes,
the big A. Yes.
So, okay, let's...
Okay. We're getting to Rachel.
Buckle
okay.
It.
So I do my little, my own little production in my apartment. And I was like, I got to do something. I want to do a podcast. Maybe like, what skills do I have? And my mom always taught me, she was an artist, and she always said, you know, like, channel art. And when you're stressed, like, she would be like, she'd have us sketch. I'm so sorry. She'd have us sketch, or she'd have us like do an art journal or make a collage or do something, like get it out, which you're the same with like writing, like just get it out onto the page. And I'm like, what skills can I use to just like get this out? And I was fueled a little by anger too, of like, nobody understands what I'm going through. So I post on Instagram and I'm like, I want to tell my story and I want to work on this project. Does anybody?
Bueller?
Anyone want to join me? And I don't know, maybe it was like a half a second and Rachel was like, me. And it was really sweet.
You always make me sound like such an eager beaver. Was I?
You kind of were, which is like not really your personality.
I know. Was I bored?
I don't know. You were probably like, get me away from these children. Like,
I do love my kids.
I know, you're the best mom. But you were like, yeah, like, I'm interested. I didn't say what it was. It could have been like, I don't know. I don't even know. Like, I didn't say what it was. I just like, hey,
who wants to tell their story?
Yeah. And you were like, I do. And I'm like, I don't really have a plan, but do you want to talk on Zoom? Because that was the big thing.
Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah.
So now you tell the
now
Zoom.
I don't even remember where my kids were. I don't even think they were home. I think I was like, Nick, this is important. Take them out. And I got this Zoom invite, but we had chatted over Instagram a little bit here and there. Or you'd like my post, or you would message me and say, that really resonated, or whatever. And we jumped on a Zoom. And I don't know, Maria was like, why don't you share a little bit about your dad? And I did. And at that point, what was it, 2020? So he was living with the disease for a long time. Mm-hmm. It was 10 years-ish. And I would say things like, oh, yeah, he would go out and pace the neighborhood. And Maria would be like, yeah, I remember. So it just was, I mean, I don't like to say misery loves company, but that's sort of what it felt like a little bit. And the next day, I got another email saying, it was great chatting with you.
Do you want to be my best friend?
Do you want to meet? Let's share our stories. And then it just kind of grew from there. I shared mine. Then Maria shared yours.
Okay, but let me interject. I was so intense. I was like, we need an intro. We need this. We need that. And you were like, okay.
Yeah.
And I remember you like wrote out the intro and you're like, my dad always said this thing, accept the good. And like, you like put it in and we like had a Google spreadsheet and we literally didn't know each other. Like I don't even, did I know your last, I don't think I knew your last name until we wrote the intro maybe.
That's and so I'm crazy.
Rachel. Yeah. And it just like, I don't think we had a plan.
No, we did not have a plan.
We didn't have a plan. We had the Art Junk Studios website. We didn't really know what would happen, but just on a personal level, I felt like that connection I had been searching for on those drives to and from work, and like that longing I had for like someone to understand me, like I got that. And I feel like that's a story we don't tell much on the podcast, is like just like what this podcast has done for us as people.
Sure.
And our journeys. I also
think when you were talking and you said, I would pull up to my house and you had that feeling of like, what's waiting for me? on the inside.
Yeah.
You know, like when my dad was going through the bizarre behaviors at the beginning, I remember pulling up and like seeing his car and being like, ugh, he's here. What is he doing in there? And that feeling of like doom and gloom was not one I was normally feeling when I saw my dad's car there, unless I was in high school and like wanted to sneak a boy over. Sorry, Mom.
Real talk.
Sorry, Mom. But I think when you go through something like this unexpectedly, right? If somebody were to say, hey, in your 20s, you're going to have like a life-altering situation, you're going to be a little bit more prepared. But I think when you go through something that is so unexpected and you didn't see written in your future, you want somebody to validate that experience. So not only was it validating to meet you and to experience this together, I think it was validating to hear other people's stories.
Right.
And so Art Junk Studios became Remember Me LLC, right? Yes.
And it took a little time, but yeah, I think we did a website within like a month because people were like, we want to share. I don't even know how people found us.
I don't know either. I don't know. I think it was like word of mouth. So I posted on my page that we started this.
Yeah.
And you did, and then we started our own.
I remember the first day we had 20 listens. It was like my dad, your mom.
I know.
I have three siblings.
Nick was like, I listened to the intro. And then we went to our first conference, probably, right? Is that how we started? And then we went to research, and then we went to France, and then we
produced. And oh, by the way, few months in.
Oh.
So we start, and then people start being like, I want to tell, and we're like figuring out how to do this. And how do we record, and do we need mics, and my computer's broken. I'm using my mom's old laptop with a cracked screen, and then
on that Saturday, it was a Saturday morning, I remember, and we don't normally record on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely not anymore.
And we were going to be recording Scott Rose's.
Oh, really? Wow,
interview.
you really remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember my drapes were still closed in my room, and I was talking to Nick. I'm like, I have to get up. We're doing a Saturday morning recording. You got to take the kids out of this house. And I looked over, and I got the call that my dad wasn't doing well. I remember it so vividly. And the woman on the phone, bless her heart, and I don't say bless her heart ever, was like, you have to get down here right now. Your dad's dying. And I remember I'm like, it's 7 a.m. What's going on? And I looked at Nick and I said, I just don't want him to die alone. That was like my whole. Fast forward 3 days. He didn't. Nick was there right by his side.
Also, this was November 2020.
Right.
So it was like the full.
Yeah, hazmat suit.
Yeah.
They are testing him for COVID. He's like not lucid.
You hadn't really been able to be in there.
No.
You were visiting him through the glass.
And then when they said it was the end, they let us go in, which was really beautiful. I thought even more so because it was even more removed. Like it was more private. Anyway, so my dad passed away November 10th at 5:50 a.m. I got the call. Nick was there. It was how it should be. And then another month later, plus 1 day, Maria's mom passes. And we kind of looked at each other and were like, well, that was a good run.
Yeah, we had been doing the podcast starting in August.
Yeah.
And then it's like November, December, and we're like, well, what do we do now?
Yeah. And even through that, like, you don't know until you know. Remember we interviewed Lainey and she was like, once you know something, you can never unknow it. When we were talking about genetics, like once you know what it's like to have that final moment, you'll never really know. It's hard to explain.
Well,
do you know what I'm trying to say?
I think it's like, and this is a topic this season, is you think you're prepared.
Yeah.
You know, the whole death of it all is like in the forefront of your mind the minute you get the diagnosis and they're like, this is what it is, there's nothing you can do. And so you think you're prepared.
Right.
We've even been on calls or conferences with people where they're like, we've told them like, you think you're prepared, but you're not prepared. And they're like, I've been preparing for 10 years. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Right. Like, it's not, is that what you were trying to say? Like,
yes. You can't know what it feels like.
You don't.
Never. But I also think that's something that we've learned. Maybe it didn't necessarily change us, but I think that's a big, I thought I was prepared. Like, I knew what the end was going to be for him.
Also, you every day, in the short time I knew you, you were like, every day I'm waiting for this call. Like, you just, and I think they were calling you every day to be like, this is his temperature. He was COVID tested. Like,
right.
You were just like anticipating this doom.
Yeah, right. Totally.
Forever.
Yeah. Wow. I just, I think too, okay, let's get back. So my dad dies, Maria's mom dies, and we're like, okay, well, nice knowing
you. At this point, still haven't met in person.
Well, also we couldn't because the world was done. And then we decide it's time. And are we going to share what we did in Denver, or is that?
I feel like that's RM After Dark.
Okay, RM After Dark.
But
you can listen to patreon.com/remembermecommunity.
But I will say, very good plug.
Thank you.
I will say, so it was 1 month plus 1 day apart. And then it kind of started this, like, you were my guide through the grief, because
it's the glasses.
I know. You're my cult leader. Because you just like gave me like a heads up of like what things were going to feel like, even though you're only 1 month ahead.
I know, but I think too, like, think about being a mom. Like, when they hit 6 months and they can do solids,
wait for the sleep regression.
Right. So I think it feels good to have somebody be like, I experienced that, or, oh, I didn't experience that, but I experienced this.
Right.
I think it's, again, misery loves company, but I also think joy does too. I think joy likes company. It's more fun to be joyful with people.
We have so much fun together.
We have too much fun together.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, are we going to get any work done?
Philly bet.
Okay. RM After Dark. Okay. So, but back to the podcast of it all. Take a short break. And I think we had recorded a couple because we were like, our parents might die. Maybe we should have some in the can.
I know. And then you did one with Kelly and...
Oh, yeah, Nikki. Yes.
Nikki, like what we can...
And
how friends can support you.
Yeah. And then we're like, what do we do? And then we're like, I guess we'll do a season 2. And the first episode of season 2 was like how our parents... I couldn't talk about it. Do you remember I was on mute the whole time.
I was just...
You were like, let me tell you everything. And I was like,
then...
I'm traumatized. I can get into that in the death episode.
Okay.
But
yeah, I don't mind talking about it. I still don't mind talking about it.
I know. But you've guided me. Like, I was very traumatized. But from first season, I think then going into second season was like a turning point of just like, okay, like, we're going to keep doing this. Like, we are fueled by like our love for them, their legacy. Like,
can I just interject with one thing? When I think of like Leah and Frank as like two entities, I see them, maybe this is too woo-woo.
No,
but it doesn't matter. Real talk. I see them like at the forefront, and then behind them I see Pete and, you know, all the other stories that we've shared. So it's not just, it is for Leah and Frank, but I think something that can like tear families apart and that creeps in and you don't really know, and it's so bizarre. Like, this isn't, and I'm not diminishing cancer or something, but this is something that takes somebody away from you. Mm-hmm. And I don't think until you hear the stories or you experience it for yourself, you really, like, really get it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I know there are people out there that listen that don't have a connection to FTD,
right? But
they've lost somebody, or they think we're just really funny. I hope it's the latter. Okay, so we start this podcast, our parents pass, And then we're like, we're just going to keep going. So we do different seasons. We have different themes. But we're also in the background, like, working with big pharma now. We're going and giving our spinal fluid to research. We're going up to UCSF and gambling in the MRI machine. Like, there's so much going on behind the scenes.
And then behind that scene, what's going on? We're like grieving.
Oh, right, sure. Yeah, that one thing that people do when there's a death. Yeah, we're like grieving, but we're using the grief to propel us forward, I think. And I do believe that you're allowed to sulk and have those days, but I also think grief can sort of encourage movement. And I think that's what it did. And now we're in season 11, and we're going to chat all about these. We need to think of another word other than lesson.
I think it's like reflections.
That's
because
a great word.
I feel like, to your point, we've been go, 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 go. And it's good. We had momentum. We had drive. We had, this fuel from the love and grief of it all. But it's important, too, to, like, take a moment to step back and, like, reflect. Especially, like, reflecting on the caregiving journey. Because when you're in it, there's no extra brain waves to be like, this is happening. How am I processing it?
Yeah,
You know?
No, none.
And I just think so much has changed over the years. I guess lessons maybe. But, like, more just, like, things that have surprised us we want to talk about. Like, a lot of the grief stuff was very surprising to me. You know? Like, I thought I was just going to grieve, like, her.
Oh, yeah, no. I didn't. No, you grieved.
Well, you have a little more...
I know, sorry.
Background.
Sorry.
Education.
I shouldn't say it like that. Everyone has their own grief journey and their own grief landscape.
Also, we have heard that people appreciate hearing from people who are on the other side of the journey and knowing that they're going to be okay.
So, can you share? We're each going to share 2.
Oh.
Reflections or lessons or learnings.
Okay.
That have shaped you.
You're really going to put me on the spot, huh?
Do you want me to go first?
Yes.
You got it. No prob, Bob. And this is going to be a whole episode. You got to learn to trust yourself.
That has been a theme that you have...
But it's carried over into...
everything.
Raising a puppy.
Yeah.
Okay?
Benny.
Raising my children. Knowing when I feel something in my body. Whatever it is. Okay, Max comes in the room. I can sense he's in a bad mood. Instead of being like, no, he's not. I need to learn to say, okay. I hear you, self.
Right.
And when you're caregiving, Google tells you not to do that. Your doctor tells you not to do that. Your support group says try it. Like, there's so many voices and it gets so murky. And I've learned, and I don't do it all the time. Lexapro, right? Like, you have to tune in and tune out the rest of the noise because you're going to drive yourself insane.
And everybody has an opinion.
Can I also share, when my parents were raising me, when I was a baby, they had one book, Dr. Spock. He was it. You didn't have Google. You didn't have
who's
apps.
That guy? What was his
I don't know.
shtick?
He just was like the guru of kids.
Oh,
okay. We Google it, okay? And if you had a question, when to start solids, my baby won't stop crying, you went to the book and you looked it up.
Right.
It wasn't at your fingertips at 2 a.m. when you're sleep deprived and panicking. So with the growth of technology and the access to things, I have learned to not spiral. Yeah, right. I have learned to check myself. So when I start spiraling, my kid has the 5th ear infection of the month. Like, instead of thinking it's ear cancer, I just put my phone down.
Okay.
And that I trust myself to know it's going to be okay. Last year or the year before, I don't remember. Remember when Max stopped eating? So my son, my older son, we found out later, was in a performance of The Lion King. And to celebrate, we went out to dinner to a really good little Mexican restaurant with our friends. And my son ate a chip and it scratched the inside of his throat. And he said that it felt like the chip got lodged into his throat. And he stopped eating for 2 weeks. And I remember during that time, it was that helpless feeling of like, how can I support him? How can I be there, but also like take care of myself? And I knew eventually, like deep, deep down, he's going to eat. But instead, during that time, I just engulfed myself in like panic because that's what I did with my dad. It's just that like knee-jerk reaction. And I wish I didn't do it. I didn't trust myself. I didn't learn anything from caregiving from my dad. But in like deep in there, I kept telling myself, it's going to pass.
Right.
It's not going to be forever.
Right.
But it's terrifying. The helpless feeling is such a trigger. Anyway, that's lesson number 1 for me. Reflection number 1. Sorry, not lesson. Now your turn.
Oh, we're going to go back and forth, back and forth.
Do you have one?
I do.
Oh, of course you do.
So, and it's so interesting to look back now because I really have changed my perspective. So I don't even know how to articulate how I felt at the beginning. But like my mom was such a North Star, a like cheerleader, guiding light, and like something that was so hard for me was like trying to find that in myself. Along the same lines as what you're talking about. And something that you would always tell me is like, go inward, because I would get really angry on this journey.
Can you, I think angry, like your anger, I don't think is like.
Okay, but you know, anger is a very uncomfortable emotion for me. You know.
I know, it's like go-to for me.
So I would get so angry and frustrated and fixated on certain situations and how my family dynamics unfolded after my mom's passing. And you would just keep telling me like, go in. And I feel like I learned that so much, not to say that people weren't doing things that were frustrating or aggravating or there were difficult situations, but so much was my anger was so much my grief. Like it wasn't about the thing that was giving me that over the top reaction. It was the grief. And like that is one thing, like it's really like grounded me coming back to like, where is this coming from? And it's improved my relationships, just listening to like, what is the feeling behind this? And then also just along the same lines, just like finding that confidence and like mothering of myself, you know?
That's what we wanted. It is.
You're my cult leader, so.
It's the glasses. That's the only thing it is. It's nothing more.
I guess that's like a 2-parter. It's really like I've learned what you're talking about, like trust your gut, like, but it's so hard. It's so hard. You're so lost when you lose a parent like the parents that we had, you know, that were just so like, so good and just believed in you so much, like, and sometimes like all you want is for them to be like, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, or you're
gonna be fine.
Yeah, you're making the right choice.
You're doing great. Like especially with mothering, you know, it's like everything you do, you're like, is this right?
Are they gonna end up on someone's couch one day?
Yeah, they're definitely gonna be in therapy one day.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Okay. And like my mom was that person that could always just, even just like a look, a hug, whatever, made everything feel like, okay, it's going to be okay. Yeah. And like, I've really had to like be that for myself. That is a lesson reflection, and it's a work in progress, of course. But I think, yeah, it's ongoing, you know, 5 years. But you have helped me with that so much.
She's an angel. Do you want to hear my second one?
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, this is a toughie. Because a lot of
You asked this question.
I know. I love tough questions. You know I do. I don't want to talk about what you had for breakfast. I want to talk about like the hardest time in your life.
You don't like small talk. You're like, let's get right to it.
I don't like small talk. School pickup. Okay, my second one is, and this is like, it's a little more cliche than my first. And my first is pretty cliche. I have learned, or I have appreciated moments more. Like they're so, I don't know. It's not just like the pink sunsets and the family vacations and the birthdays. Those are great. Those are wonderful. Take me on vacation anytime. My bags are already packed. But it's like the little things, like sometimes I would get resentful. Shocker, I know. Of like, I don't want to do the laundry today, or I don't want to write this email. I don't want to go to school and chaperone.
Hate emails.
I'm not a big email person. And I don't really like to talk on the phone either. So maybe I'm just.
You talk to me on the phone all day.
Maybe I'm just a huge introvert.
You think?
Maybe I'm a selective introvert. I think that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Because I don't like to talk on. I do like to talk on the phone. Anyway, gosh. But I think it's like the little moments that I would normally have just ignored.
Yeah.
So like, I have 2 boys, okay? And there couldn't be more opposite. And my little guy, who's 8, he's not little, he's 8 going on like, I don't know, 65, 70. Like he's such an old soul. Anyway, he came into my room. My kids are bedtime fighters, okay? They will find anything to not go to bed. I got to go relace my shoes. Like I'm going to go make sure that the spice cabinet's closed. Like things that just don't matter. So they find something every night. I'm going to go make sure Benny has water. So I'm, full disclosure, because it's real talk, okay? I'm getting in the shower, okay? I'm not clothed, okay? So I'm throwing my towel over the shower door, and Jack, I hear his feet, because I know it's Jack because he walks hard like I do. And I grab my towel and I put it around me. I'm like, what is it? Right? Like, what do you need?
Go to sleep.
Okay, it's 8:30. Yeah. Like, what? And the shower's running. And he goes, Mom, guess what? And I'm like, what? You know, like gritting my teeth, but trying to be nice because he's an angel. And he's like, my cuddle, which is what he sleeps with, smells like cookies. And I just looked at him and I'm like, what a sweet smell. And I hugged him and I'm like, schlepping my towel, and I walk him back to bed, and he's just like, that's all I wanted to tell you, Mom. Good night. And I'm like, good night,
angel.
And in my head I'm thinking like, now it's 8:37. But then I got in the shower and I'm like, how sweet that he felt like he needed to come tell me that his cuddle smelled like cookies. It's adorable. And then I go forward. Okay, in 10 years he's not going to be telling me his cuddle smells like cookies, and he might not even be living here. So long-winded answer is I'm more here, I think, than I've ever been before. And I'm not here a lot. I'm usually like, what's for dinner? What's tomorrow? Or the baseball pants OxyCleaned, you know? So it's really taught me to come back to where I am and to enjoy what I'm doing, because I'm not always going to have to do their laundry. And then I'm going to miss it.
Do you feel like this has come recently? Were you able to do that at all during the caregiving journey?
I think I did it with my dad, but I couldn't do it with my kids and my dad.
Yeah.
It was very separate. Yeah. It was one or the other. Like I could be present.
Well, you only had so much capacity.
I still only have some. I'm not the most patient person. But like when I was with my dad and it was silent, and I was just there with him, I would feel really awkward for the first like 7 or 8 minutes. And then I'd be like, I'm going to miss this. This isn't going to be forever. And then I would get into my flow with him. But could I sit in silence? No, I can't even sit in an elevator with people. I'm like, what is everyone doing later? You know, it's so bad. But I think it takes practice. And if you're caregiving, or you're on the other side and you're newly on the other side, or you're 20 years on the other side, it's just like an intentional thing that I think about. It doesn't come to me naturally to be like kind You know, like it's very like I have to tell myself.
It's a practice.
Yeah. Practice makes perfect. And nobody's perfect, so I practice.
I feel like you've always had this in you. I remember your Instagram like bio.
Slowly, all of it.
Slowly, all of it. Like you've always like
I've tried.
Searched for, but maybe you're just learning to really lean into it and find it even more.
I think I get really overstimulated.
Okay, we could talk about that.
Like even this morning when like you're telling Nick about something and the kids are like just constantly making noise, and it's not like they're chatting, they're just like and I'm just like, does anybody else hear that? And then Jack drops the water bottle. It's just like
my dad's like that too. I wonder if it's something from the caregiver, like you're on. For so many years we were like on alert.
Yeah.
Like for before they were diagnosed, like what's happening, what like your heightened senses of like things are different and unpredictable, and then you're just like, am I mother now?
Do you want my glasses?
Okay.
Anyway, I think it's hard to look back because it's full of trauma and it's full of sadness, but I also think it's like one of the most beautiful times of my life.
Yeah.
You know, and even still, I don't share that I produce podcasts with a lot of people, but it's important. We're giving voices to the voiceless, and we're sharing these nuggets of wisdom that we've shared for the last 41 minutes. Right?
Yes.
All right.
Do you want to hear my second one? I have a lot.
I thought that the two-parter. I'm so sorry. I was like trying to wrap.
Okay.
Well, go ahead.
I have a few, and we're gonna get into them this season, but I'm gonna do a more positive.
Okay.
One of the more positive, because we're gonna share like good, bad, ugly, like this season. It's not gonna just be
have we?
Put on a happy face.
No. Have we given them enough? Okay. Sorry. Go. It's not about me.
One thing that I've learned, and I've wanted to like articulate this on Instagram or our Patreon or whatever, like to people who are in it right now, but I especially felt this in Greece this summer. Mm-hmm. Short story, went to Greece. My mom, both her parents are from a little tiny village on an island in Greece. It is where I feel the most at peace and at home, and I went there for a month this summer. To my grandma's house, like to just, I don't know. Why did I go?
Vacation.
Yeah, but like I lived there for a month. I just like my heart, like my soul, like needed it.
But you're gonna do it every summer, so
now, yes.
Yeah.
But like, I remember just like being in the water, me and Liam, just like so present in the moment, like looking each other in the eyes and just feeling like, I wish I could tell people, like, you're gonna be happy again.
Yes.
Like, I really, in the thick of my mom's disease, like, didn't know if I would ever fully feel happy again.
Really?
I remember, literally, it was a sky like this, walking outside of that awful job and walking to my car and seeing the sunset, because I've always liked sunsets, too.
Right.
And seeing the sunset, and it was so beautiful, and just thinking to myself like it brought like nothing to me, and I just thought, am I ever going to be happy again? Like ever? Am I ever going to feel anything other than this dread that I feel? And it was, you know, in the beginning when we're getting the diagnosis and like the world was just hazy and you're just slow. Yeah. And I was like, I couldn't see that, because the world was flipped upside down. I just couldn't see that I was going to be I could ever be happy again. And I just feel like I want people to know that like there is joy, like there is happiness, like it will come. You have to do some work and some healing and some work. Yeah, but like you can be happy again. What do you think?
I think that's
You're giving
really
me
beautiful.
A weird face.
No, I just didn't know that you felt so
depressed,
down in the dumps.
I mean, I know you did too.
mean, I did, but I also was like getting married and having babies.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a whole topic.
This was before Liam, but yeah.
Like separating the two. Like I can only be sad or I can only be happy. Like why can't they intersect? Like, you know, this word, I don't know if you've ever heard it.
Bittersweet. It's only your favorite word and your favorite book. Oh, we always go back there. But that is a lesson reflection of just like learning how to hold both.
Mm-hmm. I don't think people know how to do that. I think we live in a one-way world. You can only be this. You can only be that. You can't be a mother and a business owner. You can't be a dad and a baseball coach. I had to laugh at that one. You're only one or the other, but they always are this. You're always the same. Like they can coexist.
Right.
You can be happy and sad, mad and glad. Like you can. Everything can work together. But
right.
I think we just live in a world where everything, you're driving to work, you can't use your cell phone. Like it's so, you have to be
it's very
separate.
like polar, like yeah. And I think too, when you have a loved one that's gone through something so horrific, honestly horrific, and you feel like a little guilty too, like being happy,
of course,
you know. And I know we've heard from many people with different relationships with their person with FTD, and we've heard a lot from siblings too, like why am I still you know. And but it's learning to hold the two, you know. You can feel a little guilty and wish your person was here, and you can still enjoy the moment that you're enjoying that you wish they were here for. Totally. You know. And so
okay, what's your accept the good for the day
for today?
Yeah,
I like that we're sharing the same air, and that we've got this cute backdrop, and we got Mateo.
I know. It's a huge shout out to Mateo. Poor Mateo.
First episode in a studio.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode. If you want to learn more about Remember Me, you can go to remembermeftd.com. We love getting new Instagram followers, so follow us on Instagram at Remember Me Podcast. And please consider joining our Patreon. It's a great way to support the podcast and get extra content. For example, our Patreon just got an extended version of this episode dropped a day early for them. So you can go to patreon.com/remembermecommunity. This podcast is produced by Rachel Martinez and Maria Kent Beers. And the beautiful music you hear is a song called So Damn Lucky by Billy Kent.